Hello everyone, thought I'd surprise you with a surprise video today. It's a little bit niche, but bear with me. When people ask about my Patreon and ask what it's about, I usually send them over there and there's an intro video and all of that blurb because it's usually better than me explaining it. But I thought what I might do is post this video, which is actually taken from my Patreon, on here as a kind of free behind the curtain. And as I say, this is a video that I made March. It was the early days of the Patreon group and we were covering the sort of foundation blocks of building a YouTube channel. And the video itself is about knowing who your ideal viewer is going to be, knowing who it is that you're going to be speaking to and trying to identify what it is about your channel and what it is about your videos that is going to make people care. And I was just trying to get people into the headspace of viewing all of that through the lens of their ideal viewer. You know I love that stuff, so of course I started the Patreon with it. But yeah, I thought it might be useful for some of you as well, because I know that even if YouTube isn't your thing, a lot of you are thinking about starting video content on a different platform, somewhere else. Some of you may have decided that you want to finally create that TikTok account, or you want to lean into Reels over on Instagram. And the same applies. It doesn't matter where you're making video content, it doesn't matter if you're doing long form or short form, it always comes back to your ideal viewer, customer, person. So if you've got a YouTube channel, or you've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel, or you've been thinking about making video content anywhere, this video is for you. So I'm going to stop wittering now and I'm going to hand over to March Kim. Okay, welcome back. I'm going to assume that you now know what your goal is for your YouTube channel, and you also have a general idea of who your ideal viewer is going to be. The next thing, you want to figure out what it is that you offer your audience. What's your unique value that you're going to offer? This is where you stop looking at your idea, your channel through your lens, and you try and look at it through the lens of your ideal viewer. What's in it for them? What's the benefit? Why should they watch your videos? Why should they subscribe to your channel? And it goes a lot deeper than just knowing what you're going to do. You've also got to figure out why you're doing it, and you have to communicate that. For example, this here Patreon page, I've spoken at length about what it is that I'm going to do here, and the reason why I'm doing it is because I am so passionate about YouTube as being the only platform that I have found on the internet that I liken it to the tide that raises all ships, because I've yet to find a platform online that does everything, that raises everything together. And ironically, I've been on Instagram since the early days. Since Facebook bought it, Meta, and they've brought in all of their algorithms and what have you, I found it really, really tough to grow on as a platform. You can do if you do Reels. I don't do Reels because I'm a YouTube girl. But I don't need to, because the funny thing is that YouTube grows my Instagram account more than Instagram does. And it's because of this, and I've seen this work consistently since I've been on the platform. Even when I've backed off, neglected it and done nothing, I've had videos that have just popped off later on. And it's made me realise the potential that this platform has for other handmade sellers, even without paying out a penny. Just the potential there to help use it as a tool to help grow our businesses is just, as you can tell, I get a little bit nerdy with it. And I want to try and help other handmade sellers utilise this tool, because it's a great tool, but the way you have to go about it is very, very different, and it's a long game. So it's easy for people to get disheartened and give up on it before they take off. And if you do it a certain way for long enough, there's always that takeoff point. So that's my why for this space here, and hopefully that's a good example for you about you've got to know why you're doing what you're doing, why you're on your, it's not just about making money and growing your business, because it sounds a bit mean, but your ideal viewers aren't going to really care about growing your business. So you've got to figure out from their point of view what's in it for them. So you have to imagine that somebody lands on your YouTube channel. Why should they care? Why should they stick around? Why should they hit subscribe? Why should they watch your videos? And every time you make a video, you have to ask these questions as well. Why would somebody click on this video? Why should somebody watch till the end? Why would somebody give it a thumbs up? Whatever it is that you want from that video, why would they do it? You have to see it through the lens of a viewer, not the creator. And all of my best performing videos have been when I've thought about it from the viewer's point of view, not mine. So you're asking questions like, what value does my content offer the viewer? Why would they care? Why does it matter? And you've got to communicate that. When you're making a video, for example, you can say it at the beginning of the video, you can put it in the description, and just as long as you've thought about your topic in terms of what is in it for the viewer. And again, when you create your channel as well, you build it so that when someone who's never come across you before, they land on your channel and they can see instinctively if it's for them or not. So they will look at your channel art, like your banner and your user pick. They might read your about line, and also they will scan over your latest videos and they will get a very instinctive feel as to whether or not they're in the right place or not. So if we're talking about my main channel, for example, I'm trying and make sure it's laid on really thick, that it's for handmade sellers, because I do a lot of Etsy content. So that Etsy, I have found, just doing any kind of Etsy content means that you will attract all of the Etsy viewers. It doesn't matter what niche they're in, just all of them. And for a little while I was attracting the wrong kind of customer. So now I drill down further, as I said in the previous video, and I speak specifically to handmade sellers. So when I do a video on Etsy, because I know it's going to get a broader audience, I want to make sure that I'm speaking to the handmade sellers specifically, so that the others can self-select and drop off. That's a very strategic way. It's a very targeted way of doing it. And it does mean that I don't get as many viewers on my videos as some Etsy channels. But that has been a conscious decision on my part, because if I made generic videos and I opened it out to more Etsy viewers, that would change the audience, and I would have to keep on making those kinds of videos. And the audience that watches those kind of videos are not going to be interested in what I do. That's for the handmade sellers. So your next exercise is to take your creator hat off and put your viewer hat on, and imagine that you are your ideal viewer. Why should they care? Write down the things that they will be looking for, the things that will make them stick around, the things that will make them connect with you, and the things that they might want to watch on your channel, the sort of topics, not just specific, but just like buckets. Sort of, what would they want to watch? Vlogs? Would they want to watch talking heads? Would they want to watch DIYs or video essays or podcast episodes, that sort of thing? Just brain dump and get it all out, but just think from the point of view of your ideal viewer. Once you've done these exercises in the last two videos, you'll have a much better idea of how you are going to build your YouTube channel and how you're going to move it going forwards. And just always think your goals, your ideal viewer, your value. You've got to have those things. These are your building blocks. You've got to have these things nailed down before you can actually move forward with the making. So don't skip this part. Some people will take days, weeks even on this. And I'm not saying you have to take weeks, but do give it some real thought, because if you don't, you could end up taking your channel in the wrong direction and you can burn out very quickly. Trust me, I've been there. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. That was a short but sweet behind the curtains peek as to what my Patreon community is about. Like I said, I made that video back in March, and at the moment I'm working on a Q&A video, and I have actually just posted a shout out for questions for the next Q&A video. So if you'd like to be a part of the community, do feel free to come and join in. And if not, absolutely no worries. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again next week for your regular Coffee and Craft podcast. Ta-ra.